Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a man named Guntudo. Now, Guntudo wasn't just any man. He was a hunter, strong and skilled in the art of combat. He lived in a small cottage on the outskirts of town with his beloved wife and 3 beautiful daughters. Their days were filled with the simple pleasures of life, tending to their crops, raising livestock, and spending time with each other. But their peaceful existence was about to change drastically. For the past few weeks, strange things had been happening in the woods near their home. Whispers of strange lights in the sky and unusual sounds that could be heard at night sent shivers down the spines of the townspeople. But Gunthoro, being the brave soul that he wasn't afraid. Instead, he was intrigued. Then the attacks began. People in the town started disappearing without a trace, and the ones who survived told tales of a horror from beyond this world. One fateful day, when Gunthoro was out hunting in the forest, his worst fears were confirmed. Upon returning home, he found his 3 precious daughters and his beloved wife brutally killed in their beds. The sight was so horrifying that it shook him to his core. The sight of blood still gushing from their lifeless bodies sent shockwaves through him. Looking closely at the wounds and the scars on their bodies, it became clear that this was no ordinary animal attack. These wounds were inflicted by something sinister, something with sharp claws and teeth, something unearthly. As an experienced hunter, Guntido knew this was going to be a tough one, but fear was not an option. He had to be smart and gather his wits about it. After all, he had seen his fair share of dangerous animals in his life and knew exactly what to do when push came to shove. Taking a deep breath, he composed himself and started to investigate. He looked around the house for clues, trying to piece together what had happened. Then he saw it, a strange set of tracks leading away from the house and into the forest. They were unlike any tracks he had ever seen before, too big and too deep, with 3 long toes and a small claw at the end. Whatever had done this was big, strong, and fast. But Gunther wasn't deterred. He knew that whatever this creature was, it had taken something precious from him, and he was determined to get it back. He followed the tracks into the forest, his bow and arrow in hand, ready for anything. The tracks led him to a clearing where he found more disturbing signs of the creature's presence. Trees were uprooted, the ground was torn up, and there was a strange, sickly sweet smell in the air. But there was no sign of the creature itself. Gunthoro was cautious. He knew that whatever this creature was, it was powerful and dangerous. But he was determined to find it, continued his search, following the tracks deeper and deeper into the forest. As the sun began to set and darkness fell over the town, Gunthoro heard a scream in the distance. It was a terrifying sound, like nothing he had ever heard before. His heart pounded in his chest as he tried to locate the source of the noise. The scream echoed through the trees, sending shivers down his spine. He knew that whoever or whatever had made that sound was in pain, but it wasn't a sound that would evoke pity. It was a sound that would strike fear into the bravest of hearts. Following the sound, Gunthoro finally found the creature. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. Its skin was a sickly green color, and its eyes glowed red in the darkness. It was huge, towering over him like a giant, and its claws were sharp and long. The creature was unlike anything he had ever seen before. Its skin was a sickly green color, and its eyes glowed red in the darkness. It was huge, towering over him like a giant, and its claws were sharp and long. The hunter was stunned by the sheer size and ferocity of the beast. He had never seen anything like it before. But the sight of the creature brought back the memory of his slain family. The anger and grief surged through him, and he was ready to take on the beast. As the creature lunged at him, its claws extended. Gunthoro dodged and returned with a swift kick to its knee. The creature roared in pain and surprise. Gunthoro used this moment to his advantage, launching a series of swift and powerful punches and kicks. The creature staggered back, its eyes wide with surprise and pain. However, the beast quickly recovered and charged at him again. This time it was more vicious, more determined. Its claws raked across Gunthoro's chest, leaving deep, painful scratches. Blood welled up and trickled down his shirt, but Gunthoro ignored the pain. He was focused on bringing down the creature. The battle was intense and brutal, a flurry of fur and flesh. The creature's strength was immense, but Gunthoro was relentless. He fought with the strength of a cornered lion, protecting his honor and avenging his family. Just when it seemed that the hunter might be defeated, he remembered his family, their smiling faces, and the love they shared. With a surge of adrenaline, he fought back, his determination growing stronger with each passing moment. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Gunturo landed a final blow, a powerful arrow piercing the creature's head. The creature let out a deafening roar, then collapsed to the ground with a thud, its eyes losing their glow and its breathing growing shallow. The battle was over. Gunturo stood over the fallen creature, his body aching and his clothes torn and bloodied, but he was victorious. He had avenged his family and saved his town from the monster that had plagued it. The townspeople cheered and celebrated, were grateful to have their hero back, and they showered him with praise and gratitude. Gunturo, however, was still haunted by the loss of his family. No amount of praise or gratitude could bring them back. He missed their laughter, their smiles, their hugs, missed everything about them. In the days that followed, Gunturo became known as the hero of the town. His bravery and strength were celebrated by all, and his name was passed down from generation to generation. But Gunturo never forgot the pain and the suffering that the monster had caused. He dedicated his life to protecting the town and its people, making sure that such a tragedy would never strike again. He trained young warriors, teaching them how to fight and defend themselves. He also worked to improve the town's defenses, making sure that the walls were high and strong and the guards were vigilant. As the years passed, Gunturo grew old and his hair turned gray, but his spirit never faded. He continued to train and prepare for any eventuality, always ready to defend his town and its people. And so, Gunturo lived out the rest of his days as a legend, a hero who had saved his town from a monster and had made it a better, safer place for everyone. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it's just beginning. The tale of Gunther the Hunter, the hero of the town, was passed down through the ages. And every year on the anniversary of the battle with the monster, the townspeople would hold a festival in his honor. They would tell stories of his bravery, reminisce about the day he had saved them, and celebrate the life of the man who had become a symbol of hope and resilience. The festival was a time for the community to come together, to remember their history, and to honor the man who had made it possible for them to live in peace. The children would listen wide-eyed as the elders recounted the tale of the monster and the hero who had slain it. They would learn about the importance of courage, determination, and selflessness. And they would be inspired by the example that Gunther had set for them. The adults would also take time to reflect on the lessons of the past. They would remember the day that the monster had attacked and the fear and uncertainty that had gripped them. But they would also recall how Gunther had come to their rescue, and how he had given them hope in the darkest of times. The festival was a reminder for them to stay vigilant and to always be prepared, to never give up in the face of adversity, and to always strive to be better, stronger versions of themselves. And so, the legend of Gunturo, the hunter-warrior, the hero of the town, continued to live on, inspiring future generations to be their best selves and to never give up in the face of challenge. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We have many more exciting adventures to share with you. Until next time, keep exploring the world and never stop believing in the power of stories.